Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope your plants are doing well. Speaking of keeping our plants well, winter is just around the corner and we have to give that little extra support to our plants in terms of temperature, light, humidity, etc. I'd made a detailed video last year explaining all these aspects. In fact, that was my first video in this channel. Please check out that video in case you want to know more about how to take care of your plants during winter. Today in this video, we'll be talking in detail about grow lights, whether you should use them after all, and what are the factors to consider while choosing one. So stay tuned. Buying a grow light can be overwhelming. The options available in the market to choose from and the factors they say you need to consider to buy a grow light is a lot. I researched a lot before buying grow light, learning about the factors like PAR, PPF, PPFT, but at the end I understood that it need not be this complicated at all. I understood this from the example of the pothos behind me. They are thriving beautifully comparatively with bigger leaves for a spot it is in. It is in a medium to low light area and the window is over there 10 to 12 feet away. And I'm pretty sure this lamp is playing a role in this because they stay this way also in winter. Hope they stay like this winter too. This lamp has a normal daylight bulb which we use normally in the household. So I thought if a lamp like this can help in the growth of a plant, then we did not spend a lot on expensive grow lights. Yes, these factors that I mentioned are definitely important to select a grow light, but for professional growers. But for hobby gardeners and plant parents like us, it can be made easy in my opinion. And most importantly, we don't have to empty our pockets to buy a grow light. I live in a country where there is winter for 6 months and it can get pretty dark indoors. Also, I have a lot of plants now and I'm running out of space on the windowsill. Some plants also need more light than what they get from the windowsill in winters to grow. So last winter, I decided to try grow lights. We installed a shelf dedicated for my plants and fixed some grow lights underneath each shelf. Another reason to buy grow light is if you want to place a plant in the dark corner of a room where it does not receive sufficient amount of light, but still you want to keep a plant there to make your space more greener. There, a grow light can keep a plant happy. Now let us get into some parameters that you need to consider while buying a grow light. I'm not going to make it complicated at all, but we need to know these 4 parameters before buying a grow light. First, let us look into what plants take in from the light they receive. You might already know that light consists of several colors in them, like red, blue, green, etc. This is called the spectrum of light, and each color is denoted by this parameter called wavelength. Plants need different colors or wavelengths for different purposes. For example, they need blue wavelength for vegetative or foliage growth and red wavelength for fruit or flower production. This is the reason why most of the grow lights look like a mix of red and blue color, and they are supposed to work well. But I hate it and I don't want my house to look like a pub or a disco bar. And I've noticed that such grow lights are also expensive. Therefore, I started my search for a cheaper option which is also aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And honestly, if there were no other options other than this violet color grow light, I would not have bought it because it is important to me that the things I buy also integrate to my home. That being said, I prefer grow lights in white or warm color. This is usually denoted by Kelvin, which is our second parameter we are going to talk about. Kelvin is the color temperature of the light. The more the Kelvin measure, the whiter the light becomes. For example, this is a cool temperature light. This one is warm, whereas this one is more warmer. These are all good for your plants and it just tells us how different colors are distributed in the light source. It is basically a personal preference whether you want a warm or a cool temperature light. For me, both looks good to my eyes. As long as it is not that violet color light, I'm good. So now we know what wavelength and Kelvin is. 2 more parameters that you need to consider while buying a grow light. They are lumen and lux. Lumen is the amount of light that is coming out of a light bulb. For example, this is a normal LED bulb with about 800 lumens. Let's see how bright that is. This is how bright the LED bulb is with about 800 lumens. Not bad, it is bright enough. Now let me change to a grow light that I have. This is a grow light with around 1500 lumens. Let's switch on. So you see what the difference is, how bright this wall became. So that was about lumens. And lux is the amount of light that is received at a given point. The more the distance from the light source, less the lux parameter is. This I can show you with the same example of these two light bulbs. Do you see the difference of amount of light falling on the wall from about the same distance from the wall? The amount of light falling on the wall is considerably high for the grow light when compared to the normal bulb. There are apps that you can download on your phone to measure this lux parameter. It might not be as accurate as a lux meter, but it gives you an idea how bright a spot is. It is said that on a clear sunny day, the sun provides more than 100,000 lux. On a rainy day in autumn, this is how much it reads outdoors. It reads about 5000 lux at this windowsill indoors on the same day. Now it is autumn, winter it is going to be worse. Plants need a minimum of 1000 to 8000 lux for a satisfactory growth. Now let us look at what some of my grow lights read. Just under the grow light, the value is much higher. As the distance from the grow light increases, the lux parameter decreases. Basically, the further you place your plant away from the light source, the less lux parameter it receives. So depending on the location where you want to keep your plant and also depending on the height of the plant, choose a grow light with adequate amount of lumens so that the plant receives the adequate amount of lux it needs. A light source with around 2000 lumens should do a pretty decent job. And on this shelf, I'm keeping the plants directly under the grow light, therefore I don't have to worry much about the lumen rating. This one is about 2400 lumens still. These are the parameters that you have to consider while choosing a grow light. Hope I did not complicate it. Some of you might wonder why I did not talk about the wattage of the light bulbs as a parameter. This is because these days we choose LED lights, and the reason for this is it is more energy efficient than the other options. That is, LED lights can produce more lumens for less energy or less watt. That means lesser current consumption and lower the electricity bill, which is always a plus. They also produce lesser heat. So even if you place your plants a little bit closer to the light bulbs, it will not burn the leaves as long as the leaves are not touching the bulb. In a nutshell, LED light with about 2000 lumens and 5000 Kelvin should keep your plants happy during winters. These are the factors that I considered while choosing a grow light, and my experience with them has been very good. Although it was winter outside, it was like summer for my plants. I could see a lot of new growth on them last winter. If you still don't want to invest in a grow light, then you can move your plants under the normal LED bulb. As I mentioned before from the example of my pothos behind me, this can also be beneficial for your plants. You can learn and research on the other parameters that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, but in my opinion, for hobby gardeners, this should be more than sufficient. And they are aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. You can make it more pretty by choosing good light fixtures. If you have a plant shelf like mine, you can use such tube-shaped lights. They can cover a lot of area and you don't have to buy one grow light for every 2 or 3 plants in your home. There are some big plants in my home which I cannot fit on the plant shelf, so I use such light fixtures. They are flexible and they can be fixed onto any shelf or table. You'll also get such cheap light fixtures which can also be clamped onto a table, and it's really practical. I keep my grow lights on for like 8 to 9 hours in winters and 4 to 5 hours in summers if I'm using them. It is a good idea to invest in a timer like this one where you can set the time and days where you want the grow light to be turned on, and it automatically does it for you. All the links to my grow light and the light fixtures which I have used till now will be in the description box below in case you want to check that out. Also share this video with your friends if you find it useful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye and take care.